Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Del Tango India Mike. Palm Springs altimeter is 29885, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, so you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes, please.
Remember, correction, Papa Del Tango India Mike, land straight in runway 13 left, and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Del Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 is type PC12 slant cloud request clearance to Vegas S file.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S file, and I'll be full roost down. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas Airport. VFI Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs. Victor 370 to 29 Palms. Victor 538. Cresso. Join the Cresso 3 level. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7. Squawk 6316.
Plus 4658 cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Presso 3. Initially climb 7,000, expected for 0 departure 166 hours, plus 6316 plus 4658.
Plus 4658, 3 back is correct. Tango India Mike, taxi to ground via Echo and English frequency.
Taxiing to the RAM, remaining on this frequency, Papa Del Tango India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237, Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic. Left downwind, runway 26 left, report base.
Enter left downwind 26 left, and we'll call you base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower United 242 on the visual for 20 right, we'll be turning for a right base shortly.
United 242, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170 at 13.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Papa Tower, United 220, Kilo ILS 124.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 1. Number 237, Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs ground plus 4658 is traffic to weather going for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Brown 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 293 Alpha, with you on the ILS.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report missed.
November 293 Alpha, cleared low approach, runway 9. Next report is missing.
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658 ready to go turning right at Brown.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff to run right plus 465.
Papa Tower, United 220, Kilo Kilo 24.
Here's our Yankee Kilo, Archer taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Yeah, Alpha.
Plus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the G8 parking base.
Number 7 Charlie Alpha, remain on this frequency taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
Hey guys, welcome, another episode.
Number 2903 Alpha.
Happy Tuesday.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going
Small hop to San Luis.
November 293
Just before dinner.
Number 03 Alpha, roger, execute,
see
published, and Mr. Approach.
Set here.
Flying published, missed approach procedure. November 293.
Just to get over to San Luis and do some traffic patterns there, like the Cat 3 rating. I believe Cat 2 is from that untowered airport to San Luis, and Cat 3 I think is the traffic pattern flight, which I'm just looking forward to. I know I've already, hey Miniwebs, welcome on the stream. I've already completed the Cat ratings up to Cat rating 6, I believe. But just as part of just, again, dusting off my flight skills, getting into shape again, I thought it might be nice just to do those Cat rating once more. Not formally, but just to, well, just to do them once more, because I think they're really, really great. Guys, thank you. Again, welcome here on the stream. Let me hop over to the normal view here. Some news. Yeah, first of all, not big news, but it is kind of nice. Twitch made me a Twitch affiliate. Hey, Avanak, welcome on the stream. Now, being a Twitch affiliate might sound a little bit, might sound great, but it's not really that great. It's not like being a full Twitch partner. It just means it's some kind of a preliminary, intermediate kind of, well, level up, I guess, that would allow for a new way to interact, for you guys to interact with me. Giving bits or cheers or something like that. It's kind of like micro donations in a more a Twitch-like way, which is kind of cool. Still, though, I'm completing that process. I need to fill in all kinds of forms, and well, I'm busy doing that, and the form is not yet complete. So as soon as that is the case, then you can also cheer me on, literally, here in the chat. So that's kind of interesting, but again, I've got my aims on becoming a Twitch partner someday as well, which is not actually at all a primary goal of the channel. I just love the fly. I just love to have you here on board and just to learn as much as I can from VFR flying, IFR flying, but still it's nice, that kind of recognition. Anyway, that's first. Second, new drivers of NVIDIA. I've got my NVIDIA drivers also here in my computer. Didn't install them yet, but they seem, some people have been reporting some nice performance improvements, so that's nice. Should do that as well. And also what I found interesting, Frugal covered it, it's XP Realistic or XP Realism is a new plugin for actually a premium one that you need to buy, I think $20, that offers realistic HeadShakes, but much more realistic and advanced than the original SimCoder's HeadShake plugin. And I really love those HeadShake bumbles and G-forces and that stuff. Also ground roll, which is not included in HeadShake. Also works with TrackIR and X camera. So yeah, I'm gonna buy that and have a look how that is. But it's not currently installed, but it's on my list. Interesting news, I think. Well, in terms of learn and study, well, I've reviewed the previous stream, that night flight, which was a long distance flight, but I really enjoyed it nonetheless. Still, I was again struck by the fact that I again misidentified my destination airport, and well, again, too quickly just pick an airport or spot an airport and think, oh yeah, that's the airport that I need to fly to. It all makes sense, and then a few minutes later, finding out that that was actually a mistake, and I confused that airport for some other airport. So yeah, double checking those kinds of decisions or observations or whatever you can call them is really important. And as an educational psychologist, I'm really interested also in the psychological process of elevating or developing that critical awareness. So I'm also looking into the psychology literature just to see how you can prepare, almost as part of a pre-flight, prepare or stimulate that critical awareness, that peak performance kind of state of mind before you're gonna fly. And again, I guess it's also much related to the fact that for me, flying is also just relaxing. So once I turn on X-Plane, I immediately go in that mode like, oh, gonna fly here, I'm so excited, it's so cool, and just relax now, my working day is over. Well, actually, because of these training flights that I do in Flight Sim, I actually need to be on edge, right? Need to be concentrated and focused. So this is kind of like a paradox, I guess, of serious flight simming. It's a hobby, it's relaxing, it's about relaxation, but at the same time, though, for me, it's really about learning. The educational dimension of flight simming is really attracting me to do this here on the channel. Okay, anyway, that's the news. So again, a very simple short flight today. Hey Casamados, welcome on the stream. Is going to be a flight from Oceano to San Luis. Well, as you can see, yeah, it's we can almost taxi to San Luis. Let me see. This is a 8 nautical mile flight. Yeah, very interesting. 6 gallons of fuel. ForeFlight estimates that we will burn. So it's going to be just again a casual. Perhaps if I got some time left here before dinner, I perhaps can do a traffic pattern on San Luis before we go for a full stop. The PilotEdge controllers will go live in 12 minutes. So we can just relax here and take our time, I should say. and depart here from Oceano. Now, in terms of the weather, I always fly in real world weather. I have to admit, though, still xEnviro is not that realistic in comparison to Active Sky Next that I used in P3D, but it is getting there. Still, I'm looking forward for the update. Nonetheless, though, weather is now real world as always, and in the current weather conditions here around St. Louis are actually marginal VMC. Now, again, in what terms? Only visibility or only clouds or both? Well, it seems cloud layers. We've got an overcast layer at around 1900 feet. Which allows us to make such a short hop and also to do a traffic pattern flight. 10 statute miles of visibility, so that's fine, and winds are calm. So this is actually fine flying weather by me. More important, though, are the TAFs, so the forecast. What is the weather actually doing? Perhaps it's worsening, and then we're stuck there once we just depart from Oceano. As you can see, looking at these different rows here, these different lines, the weather is actually improving. You see the first line, that's the current meter. That's or no, that's not the current meter. That's the meter of an hour ago, which indicates that there was an overcast layer at 1500 feet. Also a little bit worse visibility. At 1700. It's going to be broken at 2,500, so that cloud ceiling is rising. It seems that the visibility is worsening a bit. Also, the wind speeds are increasing until eventually we've got some VMC broken at 4,000 and strong winds. So currently, what we have as an advantage is not that strong winds. Although I have to admit, though, I'm also quite interested in practicing my crosswind landings and crosswind takes off, and also not just crosswind landings and takeoffs, but also taxiing, which actually should be so integral to whatever I do when I move around, which is not still a good habit yet of mine. So in any case, a marginal VMC, so that's fine as well. We should see a lot of clouds here on the stream if we just have a quick look. You see, and there you can see. Well, it's not really overcast. It seems more like a broken cloud ceiling to me, but it looks pretty. The windsock, as you can see, winds are still calm. Favors runway the other one. Let me see, the wind is coming from there. Yeah, so that's the 29, right? Did I say that correct? Yeah, and that makes sense because usually the wind comes from the ocean. Yeah, so it all makes sense. Drone traffic over there. Yeah, so it's pretty basic, I think. We should be wary, though, of any clouds here in the neighborhood. Again, in Echo airspace, we need to stay clear of clouds as VFR pilots. But I guess with a ceiling of 1900 feet, we'll be just fine. We could stick to around 1500 feet. Yeah, and just enjoy the scenery. I'm also looking forward to enjoy the scenery of Oceano because we just arrived here by night in the previous stream, and I didn't have a proper look at the textures, the photoreal textures here around the Oceano area. Alrighty, let's hop into the cockpit. There we are. Again, checklist flying. Even in such a short hop flight, a short distance flight, which are actually very much like short distance flights, are much more dynamic, and a lot of things need to be happening in a short period of time. That to me is more exciting. But then again, also emphasizes on how well you should remember to do all these checks, and also just to rely on your checklist. So that's what we're going to do right now. So first of all, flight planning. Well, it's going to be a short flight, but again, let's just walk through the same kind of steps. So first off, the route. Well, it's going to be a straight in, I guess, a direct flight, direct to St. Louis. We've got 2 runways on St. Louis. Let's take the plate here. Taxi diagram. This is St. Louis. Oh, there are still some notes here from a previous flight. Interesting. Let me see. Clear. Yeah. Yeah, so a one main runway, which is mostly in use. That's 29. So the same layout as at Oceano, I guess. And again, also favoring the wind, I guess we would also be assigned to runway 29. And so then we can leave at Foxtrot here, taxiway Foxtrot, and taxi near the tower. So pretty basic. ADIS we should listen to here already on Oceano before we depart. Tower frequency 124.0, ground 121.6. Pretty basic to me. Okay. That's okay. Route, airports, let me see. We can fuel up on San Luis, that's good. Runway length is okay. Airspace. A lot of noise here outside. Airspace. Yeah, so obviously Delta class airspace, as you can see, and some Echo airspace there to the northwest of San Luis, part of San Luis Airport. Other airspace, well, you can see a MTR, a military training route here to the south. Doesn't concern our flight, but still, we could spot some military aircraft flying to the south of us. And we've got some, yeah, some nature protected areas here, as you can see. Notice to pilots, California condors, endangered species nesting in the high mountains. Yeah, so this mountain range to the east of San Luis, but again, that's also not an area that we will fly over. So in terms of airspace, we're actually totally fine. And again, it's a short flight, so we're not going to fly through any new kind of big chunks of other airspace. So that's okay. Weather we already checked. Altitude, well, I guess the main concern here is the cloud layer, so let's just stick to 1500 feet. At the minimum altitude that you are able to fly, by the way, which is also interesting as VFR pilots, I think. If I'm correct, it is 500 feet AGL above uncivilized, non-urban areas, and it's 1,000 feet, I believe, above urban areas, and 2,000 feet above particular obstacles. I don't know for sure. I should look that up. But I don't think that because I know for a fact that we can also fly at 1,500 feet. That's fine as well. But there's something related to 2,000 feet-ish. I don't know what that relates to. But anyway, flying at 1,500 feet or between 1,000 and 1,500 feet is just fine. So that's what we're going to do. In terms of diversions, yeah, Oceano or San Luis. I think when we run into engine trouble, it mostly has to do with the rejected takeoff at Oceano, or otherwise a glide to San Luis. So that's fine as well. Frequencies we're going to set soon. Not going to be a big issue. Fuel, neither. And weight and balance is fine, so we can submit a flight plan. Again, for such a short hop, not that necessary, but I just like to make that part of every flight that I make. File, flight plan. Right, no. Lima 52. 2K SBP. Route, I don't care. 1,500, let's say. That's also good. And it's going to be an 8-minute flight. Ooh. And fuel is fine. Again, Cessna 172. Correct. File VFR. Avanek, 500 feet above ground and 300 feet above obstacles, I believe. All right. So no 2,000 feet-ish kind of rule. I believe there was something with 2,000 feet, but thanks for looking that. Thanks for looking that up. And I believe above sea, above the sea or lakes, there isn't an altitude restriction. There are a minimal altitude to fly. Although if you fly across a boat or again an obstacle, it needs to be, I guess, then 500 feet or 1,000 feet. Should look that up. Yeah, guys, it's really basic. So that's our flight planning. And we also filed our flight plan. So reset cabin. parking brakes are set. Let's pretend that we've got live vest on board and the fire extinguisher is also there and is green. Door is closed, window is closed, ELT is set to auto. Again, not interactive, but who cares? Cabin heat, let's pretend that it's set as well. Flap lever is up. Are the flaps also actually up? They are up. The throttle works, my trim works, fuel tanks should usually though this also could be part of the reset cabin checks. This indicates that we didn't prevent, or that the previous owner or pilot of this aircraft didn't prevent cross-feeding, right? So at the end of a flight you should actually put your fuel tanks to the left or the right, or actually the lower wing, so you prevent that fuel might flow from one tank to the other. And mess up your weight and balance. So this could indicate such a issue, but again, we're here stable, quite on the ramp here, balanced. So, but anyway, to both. All right, cutoff is in, alternate is in. This we're gonna set soon. Circuit breakers still nicely tucked in, and our switch panel works as well. Cool. Then, first off, no, not first off, well, always first off, but not moving on to the next checklist, but let's just review. Reset cabin, parking brakes, life vests, flaps, levers, fuel tank. Yeah, everything seems to be fine. Next up is the internal systems check. So that is first the controls. To the right, that one goes down, and to the left goes up. To the left, that one goes down. To the right, that one goes up. Elevators work as well. Trim tab seems to be working, and my rudder works as well. Cool. Then the batteries on. We've got enough fuel, I already see. Then the avionics work. We're gonna set those soon. Check the flaps. Should be pulled down actually before the exterior walk around, but that's just not part of the stock. 72. Up again. This is all fine. Audio panel is good. Annunciator message is good. And we are completely set here. Again, circuit breakers are in. Good. Avionics off, and then we can start to prime the engine. Hey, Scotty, welcome. Evanek, 2000 might be horizontal separation from clouds. Yeah, that's true. But I thought also 2000 feet was related to something with obstacles. But perhaps I'm totally mistaken. Okay. No, I don't need my iPad. I need my checklist. What did I do? I did my pre-flight interior inspection. Flight controls we checked. Lights again as part of the external walk-around. Which also test whether our lights are actually working, our pitot heat is working. Let's forget about that. Avionics we checked, flaps we checked. Audio control panel, annunciator panel, fuel tank quantity, avionics off. Yeah, good. Then we skip the external walk around and we move right away to our before engine start. So what we're going to do, guys, again, is a short flight from Oceano to San Luis. We're going to depart from runway 29 into the wind to the ocean. And we're going to leave then with a left downwind departure. We're going to stick to 1500 feet. And yeah, our route, that's not really what we discussed, I guess, up to now. How are we going to navigate to San Luis? Well, there's a really obvious... There are two ways to go about this, I guess. If San Luis would be very, very busy, we could fly a little bit to the east here, for example, to this lake, and get to a distance of around 10 nautical miles. It's usually the distance from an airport where you say hi to a tower or to an airport, so they have time to sequence you into the traffic. But I guess now when, well, PilotEdge is now just online, or the pilot, the controllers are just online, we can just easily just fly right in. So what we could do, just to give ourselves a little bit more time and altitude, we could also just do a left downwind departure of 29. So so we're going to go crosswind, then we're going to go downwind, and then we're going to spot this this highway here. And if we follow that highway, that will bring us right towards San Luis. Also, let me see what the traffic pattern. Do we see any RP indication there at San Luis? No, so we've got left-hand patterns. Let's also, I should also include that in, as you also mentioned in the previous streams, also have a look at the airport facility directory of San Luis to see some special procedures to how to arrive at the airport. And how do I do that, Tim? Well, you need to go to a full screen mode. Airport facility directory, San Luis. Basic, clear up. Airport remarks. Attended, blah, recurring flux of water. Yeah. Tower unable to see aircraft in holding bay at northwest end of tower movement. Noise sensitive. No, not really. No, not really any big procedures or any kind of significant procedures that we need to be concerned with. Okay, cool. Very basic, once more. So yeah, what we could do is just follow the highway. We could already probably see San Luis located to the north when we departed. And yeah, what we can also do is use the VOR, but that's a little bit silly for such a short flight. So let's just depart left downwind, check that that highway and fly up north. I think that's a good plan. And then we can enter. We might be assigned to land on runway 29. We enter the left downwind of 29. Simple. That's going to be our plan. So that's the briefing. Good. Then we're going to fasten our seatbelts, I believe. We check whether the doors are closed and the windows, well, no, they don't really need to be closed, but still, that's good. I'm set. Batteries are still on, circuit breakers are off, and the avionics are off. That's most important. And I could set my throttle a bit. Fuel tank set above, parking brakes are on. In the real world, though, perhaps there's also a plug-in for that in X-Plane. The parking brake actually is quite unreliable. And you should actually, when you start your engine or when you do a run-up, a power check, also press manual brake with your pedals. And unfortunately, when I do so, I believe here in X-Plane as well, yeah, it automatically disables or releases the parking brake, which is not really realistic, actually. So it would be lovely if there's a plug-in somewhere where we could still press the pedal brake here without releasing the parking brakes. But I didn't find. Hey Silver and Ron, hello. Okie doke. So that was the before engine start. So we could prime the engine and blah blah. But let's do a checklist once more. Review here. Passenger seatbelts, cabin door, special briefing we did, flight rehearsal we did, circuit brakes all in. Brake, parking brake, fuel tank, etc. Cool. And then there's a flow of how to start the engine, which we know by heart, and which we should know by heart. That's the fuel pump. You're in 1, 2, 3, and cut off. Again, we should have seen a slight rise here in the fuel flow, but that isn't simulated here. I think in the stock 172, or the throttle should be pushed in a bit before you can actually see that. But again, we ignore that bit. Fuel tank is off. Yeah, so a little bit in, hand on the mixture. Parking brakes are set. Is there anyone here outside or rocking around? No. So clear prop. Mixture in, and Magneto's back to both. 1200. Oil pressure is already in the green, should be in the green within 30 seconds. Lean on the mixture a bit. I should see a dip there in the RPM. I don't see it, but let's pretend that we saw. And reset to 1000. Generator on. Ammeter should give us a slight plus reading. That's good. And we set the avionics. Mode C. Altitude mode, it's on, it's VFR. And that's about it. Hey Reptile, good to see you on the stream, welcome. Alright, let's set frequencies. So we've got the CEDA frequency of Oceano. Again, I think it's still set. It is 122.7. Yep, that's set. And then we're gonna switch over to tower, which is 124.0. 124.0. That's my comm 1, and let's use COM2 for ADIS. And that's 120.6. Hey, thank you for hosting, Reptile. Thanks. Appreciate it. What did he just say? Oh yeah, that's already said. COM2 active 120.6. So let's have a listen.
San Luis CORGNL information Sierra.
Sierra.
1600 Zulu weather. Wind calm.
Good.
Visibility more than 10.
Good.
Sky clear.
Good.
Temperature 12. Dew point -17.
Okay.
Altimeter 3003. Arriving runway 29. Departing runway 29. Advise on initial contact you have Sierra.
Okay, sounds fine by me. So apparently, according to the ADIS, we don't have any clouds over there, which is quite unlikely when I look at the current weather here. Specifically though, even San Luis is exactly over there. So to me it does seem like there's some clouds, but perhaps just xEnviro will suddenly change the weather when we are near San Luis, unfortunately. Hey Ben, good to see you on the stream as well. Good to see so many of you guys here on the stream. It's cozy as always. So guys, did you also fasten your seatbelts? Because I think I just did I complete? No, not entirely. I set my frequencies, that's what we did. We don't need VOR. Altimeter we already set. Does that confirm the current yeah, 14 feet airport elevation, that's good. Heading indicator is set to 9, that's good as well. And again, EGT is lights up, we're ready to go. We can already set the clock to elapsed time because I need to incorporate that clock. That damn clock as part of my navigation. So again, let's just make it useful in some kind of way. So I should be able to spot that highway. Let's pick midpoint left downwind to 9 of Oceano. I should be able to, I'm flying over it within 3 minutes. So after departure, well, let's include the departure as well, because I'm going to allow the clock to run as I do my takeoff roll. So let's include a little bit more time here. Well, again, doesn't really matter. 4 minutes, 3 minutes, I should be able to see that highway. Good. And then we're going to make that turn to the north, follow the highway, and then just say, hey, San Luis, here we are. And we've got Sierra. Okay, that's good as well. I think I completed my pre-taxi checklist. COM2, altimeter, heading indicator, clock, good. Airport diagram we don't need. Transponder, we set that. And we're ready to go. Good. Winds are calm, so no crosswind correction. Also, we've got a pavement here, so we don't need to use soft field correction to pull on that yoke. So we are ready to go. We'll check. Yes. TrackIR on. Let's go, guys. Parking brakes released. Brake test. Good. U9. There we go. Also, some very exciting news. I bumped into the YouTube recordings and streams by Evanak, who is also on the stream, I believe still. He is also a quite a serious, dedicated. Oceano traffic. Yellow Skyhawk is crossing runway 29. Oceano. Who's also quite a serious flight simmer. GA small aircraft Cessna 172 aviator. Oceano traffic. Yellow Skyhawk is clear runway 29. Taxiing to 29 for departure. Oceano. Which is really cool. And incidentally though, he also resides in the Netherlands. So we are exploring ways to do some joint flights here on PilotEdge, but also on stream. And this week, by the end of the week, we're going to figure out how to do shared cockpit flying. Just shared flying, I guess. Perhaps group flights would also be interesting, but we're mostly interested in doing those shared cockpit flights. Because that also adds, again, a new dimension to flight training. Also to do some shared cockpit management and also just to do some dual instruction to help us further improve and sharpen our flight skills. So I'm really, really excited and also so glad that Evanak shares the same interest in doing those shared flights. Okay, so there's a drone clearly in front of me here. So let's park over here. Actually, I should have turned my nose all the way around to do a proper power check, because we need that wind to cool down the engine, but let's just do it here. Engine is warm, mixture full in. 1800, there we go. Everything seems stable, no unshader messages. Engine is stable. Left mag, good enough drop, back to both. Right, again seems stable, back to both. Good, landing lights on. Emitter suggests that our battery is able to charge. Good, landing lights off again. And back to idle. Thank you, B. Crowley, for following, thanks. Welcome on the stream. Again, no unshaded messages here. Still everything is stable, oil pressure's in the green, good. Alrighty then, so let's allow that drone to take off while we line up and wait. Although it's not really good to line up and wait, to be honest. It's better just to stick here just in front of the threshold, because there might be someone else in the pattern. Which I don't think is the case. What we could do, just to do a nice pirouette here. We don't expect any traffic on that side, but we do expect it on this side. See anyone on downwind? Nope. And I believe there's just one airplane drone traffic here that's flying here. Okay, so there we are. Landing lights on, strobe lights on, mixtures full in. Again, I didn't see anyone on final. Thank you, Salty. Thanks for following. Yeah, again, let's do a double check. Gonna depart here. In case of a rejected takeoff, I'm gonna go to the below 1,000 feet AGL. I'm gonna go to the beach and land there. Otherwise, above 1,000, we can turn around. In all the other cases, just land back to the runway. We're gonna do a left downwind departure. Spot that highway that we should be able to see or fly over in 3 or 4 minutes from departure. I should also press that starter button here on my clock before I take off. And tower is 124.0, and we've got Sierra. We could just listen once more. It doesn't really matter because the ADC controllers do not have
San Luis CORGNL information Sierra.
Sierra, yeah.
1600 Zulu
The
weather.
ADC controllers here on PilotEdge do not provide ADAS information yet, so I could say whatever I like. Anyway, it seems that we are ready to take off. Oceano traffic, yellow Skyhawk is departing runway 29 for a left downwind departure to San Luis. Oceano. Yeah, there's the traffic there in front of me on my 11 o'clock high up. So that's no factor. Good. Engine is still looking good. Good. Turning on that runway. Heading indicator matches. Good. Full power. Lots of right rudder here. Good. Engine is alive. Force airspeed is alive, I should say. Engine is in the green. Good. 50. 60, and that's our rotate point. Good. I didn't do my checklist, my before takeoff checklist, by the way, so forgot about doing that. Some turbulence. Sticking to VY here around 80. There we go. Again, already looking to the left here. My crosswind lag seems to be clear. 5,000 feet. That's 700. ATAR! Oh, the clock! Yeah. And there you can see why it's important to use a checklist. I cannot believe why I'm always missing that clock. Oceano traffic, yellow Skyhawk is turning left crosswind runway 29. Left downwind departure. Oceano. There we are, 1,000, push on that yoke. Or, not really push, we can keep on descending. We can also just keep turning to downwind. Oceano traffic, yellow Skyhawk is turning on the left downwind, 29. Departure to San Luis, to the east. San Luis. There we are. Good. Again, clouds are coming in reach. And 1500 feet should give me enough room here to stay at least 500 feet below the cloud ceiling. As VFR pilots, we are obliged in echo airspace to keep clear of clouds in that way. Good. Not going to lean here for such a short flight. Again, there's the field. So far so good. Thank you, Orvis, also for reminding me to set the clock. Ah. Man. Okay, so 3 or 4 minutes, we should see that highway. I can already see here some kind of a road. But it doesn't seem to be a big highway. What we could do is just fly a little bit more and also just enjoy the scenery, because look at this, guys. Nice. Let's do another call here on the CDEF to say that we are out of here. Oceano traffic, yellow Skyhawk is leaving the traffic pattern area to the southeast at 1500 up to San Luis, Oceano. Or San Luis, San Luis. Oh, potatoes. This seems like a nice road, but could be the highway already. But again, doesn't match my timer here. I mean, if I look at this side here, I do see the it seems like a nice highway likes. Let's see. As you can see here, the highway is much more down. If I just follow that left downwind of Oceano, it will take me some time to get to that highway. Thank you for following, Eden. Thanks. So perhaps it's a bit silly here just to keep flying on this direction. Hey, Bull. Thank you. Alright, traffic. There on my 11 o'clock. I'm gonna ignore that highway, guys. Go a little bit more high up. I'm descending a bit. Again, should be careful now because getting into the glide slope or approach there. Approach path of Oceano. Ooh, that's interesting. Clouds. Talking about 2D clouds. My gosh. Traffic there far away in front of me. I think I'm just gonna stick to the ocean. Now, why I change plans is just spontaneous, and that's never a good thing. But I just am curious just to look at this photo reel. It's so pretty. Oceano traffic, yellow Skyhawk is 4 miles southeast. We're gonna fly over the field to the northwest at 1500 Oceano. Will pilots change their destination all the time? Yeah, but again, changing your plans often also means that you should change your checks, and a lot of checks that you did as part of your pre-flight to meet the expectations of your planned flight are then should also be reviewed. Terpoon, thank you for following. Thank you guys for following. It's very encouraging. Thanks. Just keep my landing lights on, just to be visible. So yeah, what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm just gonna fly over Oceano here and then fly to Avila, I guess, just here, and then fly into San Luis. Could also already do an announcement on top of Oceano, gives a more precise location to San Luis Tower. Let's switch already and listen to Tower. Mega, are you Dutch? Yes, I am. And are you a pilot? Well, I'm a virtual pilot. I'm not a real-world pilot, but I'm using Flight Sim to get as close to a real-world instrument rating as I can, using PilotEdge, using X-Plane, using all kinds of third-party add-ons. And that's what the Uncertified Pilot is about. It's really about serious flight simming, and also in GA, small GA aircraft. I'm not really an airliner type of guy. I think it's actually quite boring just to look at an airplane fly itself on the autopilot. So it's most of the time it's just here, hand flying, VFR flying up to now, doing the CAT ratings on PilotEdge. Let's have one more listen to the radio.
San Luis CORGNL information Sierra. 1600
So
Zulu
still
weather.
the same information. Good. See some traffic there in front of me. 2 o'clock, high up. I guess San Luis should be around there. No Stinger. No, didn't fly the Aerosoft Airbus. No, it's just the Cessna 172. Look at my cap. I think this is much more dynamic, educational way of flying. It's much more fun. It's much more, yeah. At least my humble opinion. I'm not underestimating how complex it can be just to fly a 737 by the book, but it's another way of flying. San Luis Tower, Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango Mike is about 7 miles to the south of the airport, currently at 1,600 inbound for a full stop. We've got Sierra.
Papa Hotel Tango Mike, San Luis Tower. Good morning. Thanks for Sierra. Left base for runway 29er. Report 3 miles.
That's runway 29er. We'll report 3 miles. Would you like us to enter on the downwind or the base? I didn't catch that.
You can enter left base if you're south field. Enter left base for runway 29er.
Perfect. Left base 29er. For full stop. Papa Hotel Tango Mike. Thanks. Marcus, my favorite controller. And he's favorite because he was actually the first controller that I had contact with on PilotEdge, and I really shed my pants of fear and all kinds of emotions that I never felt before. That was around Palm Springs. It wasn't on the stream, unfortunately. But man, I was just circling outside of the Palm Springs area just to gather the courage to make a call, and with all that emotion, hearing his voice, and that's also the recording that you hear when I start my stream or end my stream. It's a recording of my first call, actually, on PilotEdge, which was actually on the Charlie class airport. At least in PilotEdge, Palm Springs is governed as a class Charlie airspace. Now let's have a closer look where Palm Springs actually is. San Luis actually is. I think it's over there. Mixture still full in. Lights are still on. Good, we're visible. Oh yeah, I can see the airport. It's over there. Silver Race, thanks for following. Thank you guys. Welcome on the stream. 40 people. Those are numbers. My gosh. Just amazing how many passengers a Cessna 172 can handle. All right. Airport elevation of San Luis is 200 feet. So 1,200 feet is going to be your traffic pattern altitude. So let's start descending already. And we need to enter the left base. That's perfect. So it's going to be this and then a landing.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike. Wind is calm. Runway 29er. Clear to land.
Clear to land 29er for Papa Hotel Tango Mike. That's already. Is this 3 miles out? Perhaps. Okay. So there we go. Again, we should always remain
clearance, good morning,
vigilant of other aircraft. I didn't hear anyone on the San Luis Tower frequency, but just to be sure. 100 knots.
Charlie November.
So that means 1 notch of flaps. Push down on that yoke. Should need to descend a bit more aggressively here. What a nice mountains here. Nice textures. Wow. There we go. Let's put in another notch of flaps. Perfect. Again, there is the runway.
And November 6 Charlie November, there'll be a bit of an amendment. The Car 2 arrival, even though it's not published, is only turbojet aircraft. I can get you into Henderson via the Boulder City VOR. Give me just one moment, I'll be with you.
Okay, great, thanks.
A little bit too low on speed there. Should be around 75, but should trade my altitude for speed here, because that was the idea.
And plot is 776 Charlie November, cleared to Henderson Airport.
No one on final.
Muscle 8 departure, and the Daggett transition. Join Victor 587
Good.
to the Boulder City VOR, then direct.
Let's make that turn. Now this is a
Maintain
crucial
5,000,
turn because I'm at
expect
slow
flight
speed, and also
250,
making a
10
turn
minutes
increases
after
the
departure.
likelihood of a
Departure
stall.
frequency 128.
Now I'm already cleared to land, so there's no need to
5,
re-announce or announce my legs as with
Clear to
an
the Henderson
untowered airport.
Executive Airport via the Muscle 8 departure, Daggett transition.
Vasi is
Victor
double wide, so I'm a bit too
587,
high.
Boulder VOR direct, maintain
So
5,000.
that's correct for that.
Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 745.
There is a one right, one wet.
November 6,
One red,
Charlie
one white.
November.
I mean,
Plot of 6 Charlie November, readback is
good.
correct.
Nice scenery, by the way. Very nice. All right, concentrate. A little bit of turbulence here. Good speed. And nose up. Come on. On your heels. On your heels. I heard a stall warn. Haha. Good. Laps up. I think Foxtrot is already over here, so we can expedite our exit, keeping a pace on. St. Louis Tower, Skyhawk, Papa Hotel Tango Mike is clear of the runway at Foxtrot. Takes you to parking here near the tower.
Papa Hotel Tango Mike, Roger, thanks. Stay on my frequency into the ramp on Alpha. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.
Via Alpha to the render, we'll stay on your frequency. Thanks for your help. Papa Hotel Tango Mike. Alright, landing lights off, strobe lights off. Mixture,
Cessna
ground.
688. Traffic off your left side now. About 9 o'clock, 2.5 miles, turning southbound VFR aircraft.
Via Alpha that's in front of us. Where are we going to park? Well, I see two lovely Cessnas Skyhawks over there. Also a nice ramp over there. My gosh, this is nice scenery. Cool. More pretty than actually Orbix's scenery. Global, Vector and OpenLC. Very nice. Alright. And there we are. Now this is not really smart, but hey. Alright, that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Transponder set to off. Avionics off. Cut off. Wait until the prop stops. There it is. Magnetos set to off. And lights are off. Batteries off. And there we are on St. Louis, guys. Again, a small flight, but I think these are really, really fun. There are, yeah. It's just fun. I should do sometimes a longer stream, an 8-hour stream or so, and just fly from one airport to the next, just 30 nautical mile tops flights, because it's so nice to do. All right, so that was my flight. Was quite pleased with that. The only thing again was checklist, and I forgot to use the clock at departure, which was just part of being focused. I mean, you get focused on just taking off, and then there's again that habit just takes over, and it does not include the clock. And I should just, I guess, redo a takeoff roll or a takeoff pre-takeoff checks just several times over. Perhaps just even do a fake takeoff roll and then just taxi back and do it again and do it again, do it again until I repeat turning on that clock for several times, that it really becomes, again, part of that habit. Really training, drilling that as part of my my pre-takeoff checks, and also as part of my cruise, by the way. Okay. Anyway, we completed our flight.
Disconnected.
Good. So now we can review the flight, which is always fun, I think. First, the landing. There we are. Bit high here, but not too bad. Wow. There we are. Again, nice scenery. Nicely tucked in the photoreal. Gorgeous. Alright. A little bit moving my my tail here, but there we go. Slow-mo. Now. Nose is already nicely up, that's good. It's not really ballooning, I think. Good, good. See the nose is rising, good. And now the airspeed is dropping, and I should slowly drop down. Yeah, there we go, there we go. It's really nose up, perhaps a little bit too much nose up. There we go, come on. Go down. Good, good, good. You just allow the airplane to land itself, really. It's good. Yeah, Mega, do you think that I was floating? I mean, I think I was just flaring. Good. Again. Now in high speed. Well, yeah. Could perhaps be a little bit more subtle. Okay. Control P. And another Control P. No? Yeah, that's the one. Whoa. So, flights. Yeah, so I guess also in terms of my flight planning, I could have already decided to go by just do a straight out departure and just follow the coast rather than going that way around and changing my plans. I mean, I'm free to do so, but it always adds to the risk of forgetting other things that, for example, just to mention something, we did consider airspace, right, as part of our planning of our flight. And I mentioned that there is a military training route here on this side. Now, I ignored that military training route because I said, well, we're just going to fly from this direction, so we don't need to care about that MTR. But once I changed my plan, now that MTR did become significant, I wasn't thinking about that at all while I was flying here over the ocean. And again, it doesn't mean that on any MTR you will run a high risk of bumping into other military aircraft, but still, that's just an example that you checked something off based on a particular plan, and when you change your plan, you're not reviewing all those decisions that you made beforehand, right? Which you should actually do when you change a plan. So it's never good to change the plan. It's better just to stick to a plan, even if it's a not really a bad one, but if it's a slightly less efficient or a less effective one, I should rather stick to that plan than to change it up in flight. Anyway, terms of weather, that was fine as well. No problem at all. Departed. Then went over here, did my ATC contact also perfectly, I think. And what I also did, what I'm also proud of, which is a bit weird, I guess, just to say, is Marcus allowed me into the Delta, right? But I didn't quite catch how he would like me to enter. And usually, though, especially at the beginning of my flight training, I would identify that personally as something like, oh, I didn't quite catch him. Well, let's not ask for clarification because I might come over as a inexperienced, not knowledgeable, not proficient pilot. And actually in the real world that happens as well. That psychological game of not wanting to come over to the ATC controller as being not on par, as being not critically listening. And the exact opposite is true. Always ask for clarification. If you're in doubt, ask the guys. I'd rather know for sure that you're understanding what they're instructing you than when you're fly around and do not comply to their instruction because you didn't hear or you listened not listened carefully enough. And I did have some flights, I believe, in some streams ago where I made such mistakes, and then the pilot said, "Hey, I thought I instructed you to enter the right hand, and now you entered the left hand pattern." And when I reviewed the video, I just heard him say that I should enter the right hand pattern, but I just didn't hear that that correctly at the time. And so it's always good when in doubt just to ask, just show. Don't hesitate to ask for clarification because it's really important. So actually, that's a good point. I think that's gives me some karma points for this particular flight, even though it's quite small and minor, and I should have just listened more carefully. Clarifying, asking for clarifications is important. Yeah, and then again, base entry and landing. It's very basic, guys. Bull, you ever fly in real life? No, I've flown in real life just once. Well, that's not really true. As a kid, I've flown in a Cessna a couple of times, and around 6 months ago, a friend of mine invited me to join him in his Skyhawk to fly in Eelde Airport. It's in Groningen. And that was really fun. And it amazed me how well the skills that I developed at the time in flight sim were transferable to real world. I actually taught him a few things, which is just mind-blowing. So I'm really looking forward to a moment in time when I'm actually going to start my own PPL training. Hopefully that time will come. And to also stream that and show you guys how educational X-Plane can be. And also PilotEdge, if you use the right software, how you can really prepare yourself for a flight training. Vince, thank you for following. How you can prepare yourself for actual real-world flight training, and also therefore saving a lot of money, especially for IFR flying, which involves a lot of thinking, instrument procedural flying. You don't need to burn fuel to develop those skills. You can do that just in a simulator perfectly, more actually than in terms of VFR flying. So, but again, also for VFR flying, using the clock, visual navigation, all that stuff. Also, the same mistakes happen, at least to me, here in flight sim. And I think when I sharpen my flight skills here in flight sim, I'm much better off when I start my real world flight training, which is really exciting. And again, guys, I also mentioned it in the beginning of the stream, I met Avanak, who's also a Dutch beginner student pilot, virtual student pilot here. Also just started with PilotEdge. And finally, after a year or so, I finally meet someone who's also as serious about flying in flight sim as flying a Cessna 172. Really serious about the whole educational aspect of flight simming. So if you're interested in my channel, check his channel as well. Check out his channel as well. Avanak Live, I believe, on stream on Twitch, and Avanak on YouTube. And what we're going to do, thank you for hosting, Vince. What we're going to do is do shared flying, and not only in group flights, but we're also going to figure out a way to do shared cockpit flying. So I will jump in his cockpit, or he will jump in mine, and we're going to do also our student flights here, and we're going to double check our procedures and chat in the stream, which is going to be, I guess, also be more dense information, and we so I can provide you with, and also myself, with more stimulating content, I hope, to get the most out of your Nymphen. Thank you for following out of Flight Sim. So we're actually going to do that by the end of this week. And well, if you're interested in our developments there, check me out on Twitter, also UncertifiedPilot, and we'll let you know. Because I'm really looking forward to flying with Avanak here on the stream. Yeah, guys. So that was the flight. I'm gonna head over to dinner. I'm really hungry here, but it was a really nice flight, and again, nice scenery here. Oh, there's also a really large general aviation parking on that side. Gorgeous. Okay. Let's look for a nice closing off with the tower. It's a nice closing off picture, I think. It's a bit too close. Nice. Alrighty, guys. Again, thank you for joining in on the stream. Many of you today. That's really much appreciated. Thank you for your follows and your hosting. That's really, really encouraging, guys. Thank you for jumping in. Again, I'm flying several times a week. I'm exploring ways to also do shared corporate flying, as I just mentioned, with Evanok. And if you're interested in serious flight simming, small GA aircraft, flight training here on PilotEdge, give me a follow, subscribe, and jump on board next time when I fly. Again, thank you, and guys, happy flights, blue skies, and I will see you in the next stream. Bye. False Springs Tower, Skyline Hotel Tango, Mike is 10 miles north of the airport at 3000. Information X-ray, full stop, landing 13 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, Squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs altimeter is 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes, please.
Correction, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left, and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs, clearance plus 4658 is type VC12 SAM call request clearance to Vegas S5.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S-file. I'll be forward standing. Plus 4658 is cleared to Las Vegas Airport. VFI Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs. Victor 370 to 29 Palms. Victor 538. Cresso. Join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 2, 405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.